told you I lived with my family in Hamburg for 4 years. So within these 4 years, don't think I was just sitting in the house and being a good girl and cleaning and washing. My other side was also there. I have things to tell you. There are so many, but I don't know where to fix them all the time sometimes. I don't know how. They get mixed up. You get confused. Today, I want to tell you about my Nigerian boyfriend. This is where now the story of my lips is coming in. You see my lip? You see here, my lip is operated. You see here? Hey! Just chilanga. Hey! This my lip, oh. Ha. It's coming. Just let me digest this chapati of mine, bed before it gets cold. Hey, you people. Where do I begin? As I am still digesting how to start.
Number one Kenya mzima, East Africa, mambo ni hapa, kila kitu ni tamu tamu, tamu tamu, tamu tamu zaidi.
The wind is howling up here. It's so windy, you can see from that one there. It's so windy, and it's a bit chilly out here today. Though the sun is shining, the weather is nice, but it's windy and a bit cold. It's cold because I live under trees. I live in a forest, so it's cold. That's why I'm in a hoodie. Hoodie man. I'm in a hoodment. But hey, 9 minutes is gone and I'm not even started the hour. There's so many things to tell you. If you're proud of your black skin, of your chocolate skin, if you're proud of our experiences and stories, like I always tell you, turn every of your experience, whether negative or positive, to your story. We are not in this world for holiday. Nobody is here to just have luxury and just put their legs up 24 hours a day. Now I'm even making this thing fall down. This is a hassle, I beg. Hey, I know this camera is now messing me up. Forgive me, you guys. It's just going to be stable in a few. It's the wind. Hey, yeah, I almost lost my video. Yeah, hey, yeah, the way this work is not easy. But you know what? We didn't come to put our legs up like that. You can even step on your shoes if you want. But hey, you will rest in peace when the people write on your wall, rest in peace, rest in peace. That is when you will rest in peace without anybody knocking your grave saying, wake up, Bwana, we need to go hustle. Here in the world, be ready for all ups and downs. Be ready for haters. Be ready for enemies. Be ready for backbiters. Be ready for stabbers. Be ready for hangers. Be ready for heartbreaks. Be ready for thieves. Be ready for murderers. Be ready for bomb blasters. Be ready for everything, because we are not here on holiday. We are working. I hope you understand that. If you reflect on that, you will realize that you have no stress in this world. Stress is there, but you take it as a part of your life, you know. Without stress, how are you going to enjoy this world, I beg? That stress you're having, even me, I'm having it double portion, triple. Hey, if I give you my stresses, just let me eat my chapati, I beg. If I give you my stresses, my people, hey, you will say return to sender. Just chill, story is coming. Let me eat this one only. I'm not eating another one again. This one I will go and warm later. It's now cold. It's Kenyan tea. Let me cover it with a book. I remove the spoon, put the book on top, then put maybe my iPhone 8 Plus with my photo on it on top. I've not seen, is there another iPhone that has already arrived? This is my hobby. So I put it there. Then we can start. Hey, my sisters and brothers, brother, hey, these things happened long time ago. Let me remind you, 13 years ago, or no, not from 13, 12, 11, and 10 years ago. So I can't remember them as well as I did remember on those videos that you didn't watch. There are videos that are on Facebook that I was telling you stories about over in them, and nobody was interested. Those days I was nothing. I was struggling telling you stories on my Furahi Day shows, and nobody was listening. So if you want to get them one-on-one, clear and fresh, then please refer to my videos on Facebook Live. Maybe I'll try and get them, though I have short hair. On those videos, my hair was still growing, the dreads were very short. So when I post them here, don't feel bad. Don't think they're not current. They're just these stories, but now with a better memory. But as per now, let me give you the little that I remember. Hey, so my friend was called Sony. Hey, Nigerians in Germany, they love Kenyans very much. What I've heard or I heard is that Nigerians love Kenyans because they're easy. I don't mean we are easy. I don't mean to embarrass us, or I don't mean to degrade us or to give us a bad name. I only mean to say the story as it is. So please, people who have Nigerian boyfriends or Nigerian husbands or West Africans as husbands and brothers and what, it is just a story and it is reality, and every person differs. Kila mtu ako na yake. Everybody has their own experience. Everybody, people are not the same. But as for my experience, I will tell it like it is.
Lobelanga siplio lingakanga pasi ya bolingo balimbisaka maloba kasi na motema etikalaka elembo.
So according to my own ears, what I heard is that Nigerians prefer to date Kenyan girls because Kenyan girls are easy. Easy to mean a bit cheap. Cheap to mean clothes-wise. What they need is just the dressing for going out. Girls, the Instagram, If you buy for them, if you give them money for buying clothes, for going to make photos or going out. Those days we didn't have a lot of Instagram, so it was mostly going out, yeah. And when you want to go out, you have to dress well. So, and the money is not there because you're au pair and you're sending money home. Some of us are not even au pairs. They're now hustling. They have no income, but we're just holding on. And as long as you can send money home at the end of the month. The rest is history. How you feed yourself, how you survive, doesn't concern your mother, doesn't concern your auntie or your uncle, doesn't concern your sister, doesn't concern your brother. So all you need is to survive and make sure on the 31st latest of the month, you send cash home. Finished business. So Nigerians thought that Kenyans in Germany are very cheap, and they are very friendly, they are very loving, and they are very loyal. That one I can say. And they love pockets. Money is everything, you guys. Of course, if you find somebody who can give you money, beg, you will love him, okay? In north of Germany, we have a lot of Igbo boys, not Hausa, not Yoruba. Those Yorubas and Hausas, them they are not really for Kenyans. There are Kenyans who have them, but as for our status, the kind of cash that we want, it's not normally given to us freely. It was normally being given to us freely by Igbo boys. Igbo boys are like a mix of Luo people and Kikuyu people. In such that the Igbo people, they like business. They can do anything in this world to bring money to the table. They can do anything in the world to make sure that their families are intact and are living a wonderful life. You find an Igbo boy is hustling around doing nothing. Them, they're just walking left and right. You find them in the train station, you meet them where the same person. But when you go to his house, hey, they have bars in the house. They have white sofa sets, 100% leather. They have the biggest entertainment systems in their house. They have big rooms. They are just, they love it. They love it high class, even abroad. That is Igbo boys, Igbo. I don't know about Hausa and Yoruba, like I said. I don't know about Bini boys or Bini. I don't know them. I only know about Bini girls. But Bini boys, I'll tell you about Bini girls maybe in this story or another day. Yeah. So you people, I've given you the introduction. So let's go into the story. Before elections, I've just moved from the family. I've reported to Tina that, I'm on my way back home. I just came from Kenya and I'm still having homesickness. And my family, I cannot imagine that I was in Kenya and I went to Ramogi FM and I did some voicing of products like Omo and Weetabix. And now I'm coming back to be a maid. So it was stressful for me, oh, you understand? So when my family was telling me, tomorrow morning you have to wash Kia what, Kia what, Kia what, Kia what, you have to go with the boy for a walk, so you have to do what? I said, me. Me, I only came to take my things a bag. I'm going back home. Going back to Kenya also, without money is not easy. These Nigerians were coming to her house. We just to follow the stories of Kenyan elections, to see how things are going, and just small talk and to drink 1, 2, 3 whiskey, how things are going, you know. And then I was in the mix, and I was in the mix, and I was desperate. I needed also money. But then here, this guy came to the house. You know the way I look. I look interesting. I always look very intelligent. I look sharp. I can snob when I want. I can keep quiet when I want, by the way, very much. I can look at you when I want. I eat well, well. Yeah, so the guy got interested. Very, very interested. Father of four. Four or three. There were three. Three beautiful girls. And he had a wife who was a German. But you know, Nigerians, them, no matter how much they have white wife, they will always still want that black one. And they might even have, you never know. But they're always interested. And this reminds me of this part of the story. Or this part of the description of the story. Before Sony, I would meet Nigerians at the train station, because at the Hamburg main station, when you go on the other side called Kirchenallee, if you've been to Hamburg, we have 2 doors, or even 4 doors. But all these 4 doors, two are living on one side, 2 are living on the other side. So one side is called Monkebergstrasse door, and the other side of the other door is called Kirchenallee. So Africans and Indians and all these foreigners, they love to hang around Kirchenallee, the other side of the train station. That is where you find Afro shops. You find these naughty corners like St. Georg. You find everything to do with African saloons, fish, all those things. So you'll always find Africans that side, and Indians and all foreigners, Turkish people, everything. Their markets are all that side. And this side of the train station is more of everybody, where you go for shopping and the streets. And yeah, come and see Hamburg, beautiful Hamburg, and you know about all that. So I used to go a lot on the other side of the train station to make my hair. Those days I was really rocking weaves. So if you see me in dreadlocks, just know that I've been there. I've been there, done it, turned around. Let me bite the last one. Kama iliua fisi, chamgiwangi, mwanyolao, enda zako. The last one. Yeah. Okay. I'm not eating it, I promise. Let me drink some cold tea to get the energy. Okay. Okay. Perfect. I promise you I'm not eating it again. So now let's go on with the story. 24 minutes is already gone. Okay? Yeah. So now, while I was working those days, when I was going to the saloon to make my weaves, I would meet these Nigerian guys. There are so many. Hey! A Nigerian would just look at you. They already know you're Kenyan because they're so experienced. They know Kenyans, yeah? Then they're like, hello, baby. They always call you baby. Hey! Then you look at them, when you're broke and you've also experienced, then you can be friendly. But if you have the cash, like me those days I had the cash actually. I had a little bit of the cash. Before I met Sony, okay? Before I moved to Tina. This one I'm flashbacking, a story within a story, okay? If you learned this thing in literature, a story within a story, flashback. I'm back there. Hey! Okay. Now we are on the, at the zebra crossing. We are waiting for the light to turn green. You can't run. It's red. So, hello, baby. I look and I look, and they know how to dress. Their shoes. Wow. You start from down. Me, when I'm looking at a man, potential, I look at the leg first. If the shoes are not mine, I can't even look in the face. Sorry. Even in your pocket, I can't look. So I start down. And if I see the shoes are good, because Nigerians, they wear shoes. All from Italy. Made in Italy, they wear. Even when they're hustling. Then I look down, and then I come up, and I look, and I smile. sometimes I become rude. They say, don't baby me, I'm not your baby. And then they start, let's cross, sister. Now they turn to sister, let's cross. Where are you going? And I say, you can reflect twice and think, oh, I'm going to buy weave, and these weaves are very expensive. Those days, the weaves were expensive. There was no lace wig. There was no lace wig and those things. There was just human hair and synthetic. And me, I loved human hair. So I'd reflect twice, thrice. I look at him very fast when the shoes are nice, and I see this one can buy me weave. Then I say, I'm going to the Afro shop now. And then, are you from Kenya? They already know you're from Kenya. And I say, yes. Yeah. Are you married? Are you married? And I'd like, why? Are you married? And I say, why would you ask me I'm married or whatever? What's that? How does that concern you? You know, you start being rude a bit, you know, you just can't be friendly. And then he's like, okay, I know you're married. Are you married to a Igbo man or a black man? Maybe he's pissing me off, yeah? So to throw him away, to tell him that I'm not single, I'd say, I'm married to a white man. And he'd be like, white man, hey, baby, you're single. Yani for them, being married to a white man, to a German, is being single. Is nothing. For them, the real reality is when a black lady has a black person as a friend or a boyfriend or as a husband. That is the reality. This white thing, they know it's pure pepper. That's how they knew it. Or maybe this is the mentality they had, though they know the seriousness of it. There's the seriousness of it, of course, of marriage and stuff, which I don't want to get into, because love can bring marriage, love and faith and stuff. But now I'm talking about the normal side, the joker side, the easy side. Yeah, so they just say like, they are not single. So anyhow, that is typical Nigerians. They were like that. So they should he'd follow you. And because they never give up, they would take you to that Afro shop where you want to go. And if you want to make your hair, because the Afro shops are owned by Nigerians and Ghanaians. So they go into those shops, those salons, and they be talking their language. And suddenly you are being asked to sit on the chair, and suddenly your hair is being made for free. Not for free, he will be paying it. They're like that. Nigerians are like that. The Igbo boys. And the Igbo boys, what they do in North Germany, mostly in Hamburg, the biggest spot ever for business in Europe is Rotterdam in the Netherlands. The second biggest is Hamburg, Germany, which is not far from me. So Nigerians are very clever. They collect, I don't know how they do it. Don't ask me to do it, because when somebody is gifted with something, I can't hang on them, you know. Everybody has a gift. So there are things that Nigerians are good at that Kenyans are not good at. That is something that is there. Okay? Even if there are Kenyans who are good at it, there are very few. As Kenyans, we like swagging. We don't like business. You know, Kenyans in Europe, Kenyans in Germany, I mean, not in Europe. Kenyans in Hamburg. We don't like this. We are not the kind to do business. We want to look nice, but not from our money. We want to be on Instagram, but not out of our finances. You know, that's like, you know, a Kenyan like to look good and to impress the family back at home, but not from her own sweat, kind of. I know you know what I'm talking about, you know. I'd rather have, like a Kenyan, I'd rather have a rich Nigerian boyfriend or a rich boyfriend to finance me. And me, what I do best is maybe to massage them and to give them kisses and to call them baby and to just look good. A handbag, to be a handbag, you know. That is typical, the real Kenyans. Now we have extra Kenyans. We have special Kenyans who can go into business, who know how their minds run left and right. Yeah. Nowadays, they're opening their minds. They're going into tailoring, into designing, into organizing events. They're now becoming mature. But you know, we came as kids, so you understand, huh? But you know, Nigerian women are business oriented. Yani business. A Nigerian woman, when the boyfriend is doing this business, hey, Marian, ask you guys, the noise will come, but don't worry. That is our housemaster, the person who does the garden here. He's repairing something there, and I can't stop him unless I go to the house, inside the house. So just chill. I will do this to the end. Marian, anyway. So Nigerian women, they're like their husbands, they're like their brothers, they're Nigerian men. When you bring them to Germany, you have to open them a saloon. They have to sell some clothes. They are business oriented. And this is what Nigerians don't like about their women, kind of, or find it a bit hard, because if a Nigerian man buys a second-hand cars, old cars, computers, mattresses, beds that have been thrown out because like now there can come an announcement that a lorry will be coming tomorrow morning to collect anything that we don't want. So they go and help the refugees with it. So you can take your mattresses that you don't use, your old sofas, your nice things you can take to the streets because there's nowhere else you can take them. You can't send them home just like that. Yeah. But Nigerians are very clever. So they collect all those things. They will be walking in the night, driving in the night while people are sleeping, and collecting these good things, putting in their vans. Then they go and put them in containers, and then put old cars that they've bought even from Scandinavia. They even buy buses. Then they fill these buses with everything, whether it's these seats like this I'm sitting on, everything they can find, they fill the buses with and the containers with, and then they send them home. And then at home, they sell them. That is how Nigerians get rich. Igbo boys do this business. So besides all the other things they do that people say, of course, they do other things like selling drugs, which you can never find them doing. Like, you don't know when they do it. When they do that thing, you don't know. But I've had occasions where Nigerians have been raided, where police just come and raid an area, a place called Bambek, and they found a lot of them with those deals and they are gotten hold of. But those are secret hustles that they have, yeah, which you can't blame anybody about. Is their hustle. But what they do that we all know is that Nigerians, they work at the port, they help with loading containers, they are real hustlers. They are hustlers and they are rich. Nigerians have money. A Nigerian man would rather go hungry, but a girl that they're dating is living a wonderful life. And that is why even myself those days I loved Nigerians. Hey. The Nigerian topic is a bit wide. So let me just come back and tell you what I'm telling you. So when Tina introduced me to this guy, Sonny, I still didn't know that he's married or with all kids, stuff. But he had a wonderful wife who was also very outgoing. But this wife of his was a lady who is one girl among boys. And her brothers are not the kind of Germans who love black people. But she had this blood. She loves black and she loves foreigners, and she's just accepting. There are Germans who are like that. They're just addicted to African people. They love African people. They can burn their finger for you. But there are some who really hate to see black skin or even foreign hair. So this one, she loved Africans very much. And Nigerians, you can't rule them. They're the masters of the house. So even if they bring a lady in your house as a wife, unless you're an African wife like a Nigerian wife, then you cannot allow. But you know, these Germans, when they love a black person, they love them to death. Like, they don't care. They trust this man so much that they give him all the love. That is Germans. Even some German men, they love their black wives so much that a black wife can even bring a boyfriend in the house and nobody knows. You know, he really trusts his woman that he can never think anything wrong. So yeah, that was the kind of lady Sonny had as a wife. So he invited me home, me and some of my friends. One was called Audrey, one was called Rosie, one was called Yvonne, Rosie, and Audrey. On that day, it was Rosie's birthday. So we needed a place to celebrate our birthday. Rosie is the one that connected me on a job at the bar in Finkenwerder. I told you that story. I was working in a bar, in a pub. Yeah. So Rosie is the one who connected me a job at the pub. So you know, watu walikuwa connected. Watu wako vichwa. Wasichana wako na vichwa kiplani pia kwa kuhustle. This story ya Sonny is coming before Raila lost elections. Now I've just left family. Actually, yeah, I've just left family and now I'm at Tina's place. But we are still waiting on elections. So this is the story. It's here now, yeah? You understand? So Sonny took me, we went to his house and it was, we had a reason to go there because it was Rosie's birthday, and so Sonny offered to sponsor the birthday. So we went to his house and he had this bar with a marula and with kiawa. Hey. Nigerians are rich. Hey. And you know what? I don't even know what Sonny was doing in his life. He was in the house almost 24 hours a day, always. And when he went out rushing, going somewhere, and he always came back. And then he used to travel maybe to Finland and travel where. and come back, and then he would go to Nigeria for holiday, and that's it. But what he was doing, I don't know. So anyway, we went and we were really welcomed by his wife, and she loved us being around, and she made friends with us, and yeah. So then after that, of course, Sony was interested in me, and me, I was also looking for friends and somebody who could help me in this. And he already knew from Tina that I was moneyless, I was this. My story kind of Tina had already told him without me knowing. So the next day, he called me, and we started being friends. And when Tina got enough of me in her house, I don't know, but maybe it could have been that Tina didn't expect me to go that far with Sony and become a very strong part of his family. Maybe she was also interested. I don't know how girls tick. I don't know. You can introduce somebody to someone, but then you don't want them to be together. You're just doing PR. Then it turns out that they go and stick together, and you start being jealous or something. Things happen. So I don't understand that part. But kind of with our relationship with Sony, because we became a family to say I was his friend, like a girlfriend, but I was also his wife's friend, and their children were like my children. Like, we became a family. I don't know how that works. That is the gardener here, the person who repairs everything, the person who checks whether water is working, or heaters or wherever. In Germany we have these people. So if you see him driving here, don't worry. He's doing something there. He wants to build something there. So he's collecting the soil and taking them down there. So don't worry about Marian. So anyhow, we're getting older. I'm getting further in life. Why should I pretend about the past? Past is history. All you can do about your past is to make a story out of it. I can only use my past to teach people and to entertain people. Nobody can ever engrave it back. It's buried. It's the past. It's gone. Hata jana ilishaenda. Yesterday is gone. History. So what you can do about yesterday is to make a story out of it. But otherwise, nothing can bring your past back here. That's all. So me, even if you judge me, I really don't care. I only care about God's judgment. So anyway, let's go on, my sisters and brothers. Maria, do is loud. My friends. Anyway, we say this in Swahili. Akufukuzae akwambii kwenda. Ama sio hivyo, unajua mimi si Mswahili. There's a way of sending people away, but not directly, indirectly. So she was sending me away indirectly by inviting indirectly. So I noticed that I'm not welcomed anymore in this house, because anytime I come in the house, there's always a problem. I'm being talked wrongly. And that is the time when Rosie had also got me a job at Finkenwerder. So when I come back home, I'm being asked for rent. Things that Tina was not asking me about, because we buy food and she knows I don't have money, and she knows I'm just a hustler and I'm waiting just to go home after elections. But then she started asking me about rent. Mbona unini, mbona you're not contributing to the rent, and I'm buying food, she's not even appreciating. Ukweli tu, story ni ukweli. You give your all, but nobody's appreciating you. Just because, not that they're not appreciating you, they're really appreciating you and they love what you're doing. But there's a problem. You are now having a boyfriend that was not intended to be your boyfriend. It was just public relations. It was just in a mix where people are telling stories, and then somebody introduced you without knowing it was going to happen the way it was going to happen. So there's jealousy in here. You're being sent away, but they don't know how. So all the girls in the house became my enemies. You know what I'm talking about, Do you get me? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So one day, Tina told me that her basement is full, where I had stored my stuff, because when I left my family, I had a lot of clothes and all these things. So they were in Tina's basement. And then she was like, Terry, my basement is full. You have to find where you can put your things. And me, I'm like, hey, yawa. Your basement yako siko na space, because when you go there you see the space. It was with a mesh. It was a place where it's like a story building, many people are living there, and in the basement you see from the mesh, like this, a mesh like this, you can see inside that this thing has space. But she insisted that she has no space, so I had to find a way. So I went and talked to Sony's wife, and I told Sony's wife, you know what, I need to go to Kenya very, very, very urgently. I don't have a place to put my things. Tina is sending me away. And then Sony's wife had no choice, even if she didn't want to. She feared her husband. That is something that is there. The husband was the head of the house. Nigerians don't joke. Nigerians are Nigerians all the way from Nigeria to Germany, even to America. No matter how much you do for them, because this wife of Sony was doing everything for him, like cooking Nigerian food. She could cook everything from egusi to okra to nkwobi to uh, all those things, fufu, jollof, um, uh, all those things that they eat. This German lady, a typical 100% Hamburg girl, a white lady, very young, was cooking for him everything. She, she treated him like the African people treat their husbands. You know what I mean? So she knew very well she has no choice but to accept me in her house because the husband is the one who brought me there. So when I asked her whether I could come and bring my things there, she immediately said, Terry, come. You can't suffer and I'm here. We are a family. You come over. And so I moved to Sony's house. I literally moved into her house. You know what this piracy can do to you? I moved in with Sony and his wife and his 3 children. I was a member of that house. Hey, I tell you, suffering can block everything out of your eyes. Suffering. So no matter what I had in my mind is no matter what the husband wants from me, it's things like maybe sex or what, I will not accept it. But I will try as much as integrate myself into this family as long as I can stay here as I await my fate because I have no other choice. So I went to that home. I became a tante. I was called now tante. Tante is auntie. So I became an auntie to the kids. I would spend most of the time in the kitchen with the wife of Sony because even me being in that house, Sony was still the man of the house, and Sony did never allowed a woman sitting in the sitting room watching TV and just being when he has guests and you're sitting there and you're also watching TV. Sony had this African mentality in him that no matter how much he loves you, you still have to be the African woman. He was nice and the wife was nice, and I tried as much as I could to be disciplined and to be loyal and to never break that family. I tried my best. So now, the wife of Sony told me that she doesn't like working with Sony. Yeah, she doesn't like working with Sony out. Why? Because her brothers are typical, the Germans who don't like black people, and they've never accepted her marriage to that guy. So even she grew up in that area. She's where they were living. She grew up there. That is her childhood neighborhood. That is her home. That is where her mother lives, her father lives, her brothers live. So she was not really comfortable walking outside with the husband. She would go out with the children and wherever, but with the husband, no. Even if they went out, the husband would walk ahead and she's walking behind. So she told me she was very happy about me because at least now I can be working with the husband and protect her husband, kind of, because she used to get, how people can get messages, jealous people telling you, oh, your husband is working with a woman out there, what. So now she was having a woman who was living in her house, and so she would, take care of the husband somehow. I don't know whether you get this thing. So I became the new handbag of Sony during this time when I was waiting to go home, okay? So any place where Sony was going, whether it was to the church, whether it was to a Nigerian party, it was me by his side. Everybody knew. And Nigerians, these Nigerian Igbo boys, they know one another. They can never touch the other person's girlfriend. They can never. They're really disciplined in that. If they have seen you, the Nigerian brother with an Igbo brother, they will not only leave you alone, but they will be watching you. If they ever see you with another Nigerian man, they will be calling this your boyfriend or your husband or your wherever in this Nigerian partner of yours, and be telling them immediately even before you reach home. I remember at one occasion, I was in a train, and then I was in the train from the city heading to Bergadorf, where we were living at that time. So then I met some, there were Nigerians in the train. So we were just talking. When you enter a train, you sit where there's space. Where there's space is where you sit. You can't come into a normal train. This one's for going to the estates. These underground trains or S-Bahns, and you want to choose where to sit. You sit where there's space. So I didn't know that one of Sony's friends, a Nigerian also, who used to come to the house, was in that train. So me, I was talking. I get home. I'm ringing the doorbell, and nobody's opening. Then the wife comes and is like, you know what, you're in trouble. And I enter, and this guy is just mad and is like, whom are you working with in the city? Yeah? Why are you embarrassing me? What, African woman, why are you embarrassing me? Eh? Why do you work with the people? You're becoming a shao. Are you a shao? Eh? And me, I'm like, a shao now, where now? Hey, I didn't know that the prefects were watching me. Another occasion also, this one, let me just forward a bit. I had already left Sony. This time I'd already left Sony's, those I'd already gone to the family and moved my life and became who I am. Then I was in the train and I met another Nigerian person at the train station, and it was like, hey, baby, are you not my brother's girlfriend? I not see you long time now. Where have you been? Eh? I've been seeing you walk it here, city with other people. Me not see my brother. Hey. And suddenly he called the guy, and the guy was like, Terry, you've been lost for so long. Where have you been? You know, what I'm trying to tell you is that when you're dating a Nigerian in Germany here, maybe in America too, they're all the same. You can never try to play them or to date another person. Never. Never ever. They are watchmen of, they are brothers keepers. They hold their backs, which Kenyans don't do. They hold their backs, they're together in everything. Hey, where? So anyway, I stayed with them for some time, and we became a family, and they paid my food and everything. Everything was done for me. We went to church together. We survived. So on the day when my family realized that I'm back, I'm in Germany, after the elections had gone, and there was no signs that I was going back to Kenya because Raila failed. Yeah, that was in 20, I don't know what, you remember? Raila failed elections, and so I could not go back, you know, because I'd thought that if he wins, those the mentality things and stress. When your mind is full of stress and of disparity and you're depressed, you can think of anything. Raila didn't even know who I was, though he was my father's friend. But you only know about my father and not me, because my father also has other children. But then me, I was here thinking, if Raila wins, then I can go and get a better job. Stupidity, you know. So God saved me out of it through these people I met, Tina and my friends, and now Sonny and his family. Oh, it was getting too much. You can't stay in a family house for so long. You can be their friend, but now there's no space. So I told him about my story, about where I'd come from, my family, and he didn't feel good. When I told him that I was au pair before and now I'm trying to leave the family where I still have a visa and I want to go to Kenya. And he's like, are you stupid? African woman. He used to call me African woman. African woman, are you stupid? You want to go back to Africa with nothing, and you can speak German language which I cannot even speak. He couldn't speak a single German word. He couldn't. But he had lived in Germany for almost 15 years. He could not speak a single word. Anytime he goes to the immigration, he goes with his wife, and his wife does everything for him. Because he is taking care of the house. His wife was not working. So he was taking care of that family 100%, paying for the kids, and they were living a wonderful life, and they were rich. But he was not speaking German. You want to go back to Africa? Is your mother rich? Is your sister rich? Why did you come to Germany at the first place? What brought you out of Africa? You are not going anywhere. You're going back to that house, that's your family where you were living. You're going back there. And he insisted, and Tony, you can't argue with him because he can slap you. You can't argue with him. So he asked me for the telephone number of my host mother, and he called his wife. He's like, come here, woman. And the wife came because they're used to the way they talk, and said, can you dial this number now? Call this mother of Terry. Call her now. And the woman called my host mother, and they started talking German. And she told my host mother that I was living in their house, and this is how it was. I did not go to Kenya, and this. And the woman had been also desperate because when I left them, it was a short time to look for another person. But they had not spoiled my visa. They had only told the government, the immigration, that I had gone to Kenya to visit. They had like some God in them, some angel in them that was telling them, Terry will come back. There was something in them that was telling them, I will still come back, even if I went to Kenya. And then they had seen this this on elections, this news on elections, CNN and Germans were reporting about the war in Kenya after elections. So they knew somehow, even if I went to Kenya, I will soon call them and they will have to look for a way of saving me because they loved me. My family loved me with all my craziness and all my stupidity. I was good to them. When it came to being with them, I was putting the good Terry for them. But when they were away, that is when the other me came in, you know. So they didn't really know the other side of me. So they only knew the goodness of me, and that is what they valued. So when Melanie called them, the woman told Melanie to tell me to give me the phone. Then I gave, and I was crying on the phone, and it was embarrassing for me, very embarrassing. And then, why did you tell us? I understand that you had homesick. I understand that we clashed. It's happened. It's normal. But why don't you just tell us that you're here in Dagenham? We've been looking for you. We need you. We need you. I need to go to work. And my husband needs to go to work. We just need you. We need you. And I said, for the last time, I'm coming back. For the last time, I'm coming back for the last time. Please, I will never leave you again. And I was crying. And you know, Germans are very faint-hearted. They don't like people crying. You know, they call that breakdown. You know, Suzanne, you hear her saying on the phone, the other side of the phone when talking to the husband, Terry, Suzanne gebroken. Terry, Suzanne gebroken. Terry's Eshrunta. Terry, you know, feeling good, bad for me. I mean, feeling pity for me. And me here, inside of me, I'm celebrating like shit. You know, as we've gone through a lot of things as Africans, we can work with any emotion. You can cry but smile at the same time. You know what I mean? You know, you're here. But inside you're like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So she told me tomorrow, then the very next day she was coming over to pick me up. So I should put my things together and I will go with her. Then Sony told me it's embarrassing to carry again all my mzigos, all my things to go to her house. So I should just pack a few things that I have and go with her. Then with time, they will bring me, or I can be coming and collecting the rest of the things that are in the basement at Sony's house. So, yeah, my mother came, my host mother came, my German host mother. Her name was Ifa. She came and picked me up again for the second time, took me back to her house, and I became a good girl. But, as you know now, I had a boyfriend and a family in Germany. So every weekend, that one we even cleared on the table before I left Sony's house. Sony told the woman that on one condition she's taking me, that every weekend I am back to that house. Yeah, that was now the rule, which was nice. You know, at least now the Germans knew that I have a black man or a black family who loves me too. I'm not just with them. You know, it's good to also show these Germans or these people you live with that you're not alone. There is also some African people who are holding your back. It's very important. But if you depend only on them, they will love you, yes, and they will do you everything. But they will also be, you know, wanakudharau kidogo. They see that, oh, without us, no. But anyway, now I had a boyfriend, even though he was married and he had kids, but we were a family. It's just like that. Me, I found a good person, so as long as I knew how disciplined I was and the wife had given me the authority. Saying authority, I can tell you this, that one day a Kenyan girl called this woman, this Sony's wife, and told him that there's a woman who is working with your husband. She's called Terry. You just know Kenyan girls. Hey, she's called Terry. She's moving around with your husband out here. And you know what Melanie told her? I am the one who has authorized her to do that. Me, my stories are reality, and that is why I don't fear to share them. It's history. I've now moved on. I have my own life here. I have my own house in front of me here. I have my own background. I have my people here around me. I have my garden. There's no wrong by sharing and teaching somebody else who is maybe in the dilemma now, or who has been thinking twice or thrice, or who was not seeing any option. It's just to help somebody out there and to entertain people and to just give your morale a high standard level. Yes, now I went back to the family. Yeah, so then I used to come every weekend. But you know what was good about Sony that I can say? I don't know whether this is unfair, but it's the reality. I hope that he used to also finance his family like he financed me. He really did. Sometimes I would go to their house on Wednesdays. I would go midweek and end of the week. And I would just, most of the time I would spend with the wife, because we were, you are a wife. For him, you are like African woman. So you can't sit with him on the sofa. It was impossible. Unless there are friends who have come from Kenya also who are there, then you can sit and have a drink and stuff. But like even taking a drink from his bar, he had a bar in the house. You can't. You can't. He was just enough. He loves you, but he's an African man. So he would like, he was not letting me be like he used to let me be before. Before when I was still Tina's friend and he just knew me as her neighbor's friend, as his neighbor's friend, he would allow me to even take Amarula from his bar and drink. I would take Baileys. We would drink his things there and enjoy. But the moment I had lived with him and I was a part of his life, he never allowed me to touch alcohol. Hey, Sonny. And I was like, hey, Sonny, is it not just just a few months ago, a month ago that you allowed me to drink these things? Why again? African woman, you're not drinking in my house. You are not. African woman, you are not touching. Go and make some tea and drink. Go and make jollof rice and eat. She'd call the wife, Melanie, can you please give Tirin Kubi to eat? Give I don't know what you call it, what egg to eat. Those things they make with eggs and stuff. He could not allow me to. He became just like my father, like an African husband. Hey, hey. But what he used to do to me is when I come with bad hair, even when I appear and my hair looks bad, I tell you, Sonny would say, what's wrong with you? Eh? What is wrong with your hair? Is it money that you don't have? Go to the salon. Go to the salon, take this money, go to the salon. He would take in front of his wife. There was nothing that man was doing under the table. He loved his wife, but he feared not his wife. His wife, in return, respected him. So he would give me money in front of his wife live, and say, here, I don't want to see that hair of yours like that. When you come here on Saturday, here, you come with that hair made. And I want you to make it like this and this and this, not like that. If you come with a weave that he doesn't like, he will tell you to go and remove that weave. And even call the salon, because the Nigerian salons around Hamburg, there was another, the one that I loved most was a Ghanaian one. Right at the end of Kirchenallee, opposite the Bahnhof, bus station, the main bus station in Hamburg. There was a Ghanaian shop there, there was a salon and an Afro shop at the same time. And he would call there and say, my girlfriend is coming over there and I want her hair to be made like this and this and this and this. He would do that. He would do that. And when I had wrong clothes or he wants to go with me somewhere and I don't have the right clothes, he would send me to a Nigerian guy called, what do you call it? Chigozie. Chigozie was a guy who was married in London and he used to do business of clothes. So he would send me to Chigozie in Bamberg and ask Chigozie to give me clothes. And he would pay. Or to other people. You know, they're Nigerians, they do business. They know one another. They know one another. When he's wearing a suit, he doesn't expect me to wear jeans. He's like, is this what you want to wear? Is this what you want to wear? No. Go to that shop now and get that cloth and that cloth. And he liked that I dress like him. When he wears black suit, he wants me to wear something blackish. When we used to go to the church in Bergedorf and we looked like husband and wife. Even people were wondering, you know, people who have domos, people who think they know it all, Mrs. Know It All, they would all be calling, hey, you know that Kenyan girl is, you know, the jealous Nigerian women, you know, they're jealous Nigerian women because they want their husbands too, these Nigerians, but the Nigerians don't want to be with them because of, like I was telling you, when a Nigerian man buys a car, the woman also wants a car. When the Nigerian man sends money to the mother in the village in Nigeria, the Nigerian woman also wants the same amount of money to be sent to her mother. And this is what Kenyans don't do. You know, so Nigerians, they prefer Kenyans because a Kenyan, even if you give me only 100 euro to send to my mother, but you send, at the same time you send to your mother 1 million, I don't complain. But Nigerian woman, hey, that a Nigerian husband or a Nigerian boyfriend of them is going to Western Union to send their mother maybe 200 euro or 250 euro or 300. The same amount you send to your mother, it's your money, but the same amount you send to your mother is what you send to my mother too. This is the mentality we didn't have. And I think this is why Nigerians loved us. Because we don't really demand too much. We can ask for a ticket to fly home because Sony even bought me a ticket to fly to Kenya. We can ask for clothes mostly and hair and few cash here and there. But we cannot ask for a car, which they actually can buy for you. If you ask a Nigerian boyfriend of yours to buy you a car, they will toil. A Nigerian will toil to impress you. They will toil. If that is what you want, you will get it. And most Kenyan girls who are married to Germans and they've divorced, or they got pregnant and they divorced, they go and get married to Nigerians mostly. Nigerians just love us. So anyway, I hope with this 21st century now, those were them days. That was 11, 10, 13 years ago. So I hope with this new generation, as Kenyans also become Become strong at heart, even if you're still the Instagrammers, the Instagram chicks, the melanin reloaded, the slay queens, the what. But also become strong, because the more stronger you become, the more you're respected. The more value you put of yourself, the more you're also respected and valued high. Because the cheaper you go, the cheaper they take you. It's true. You know, there's some of us girls who are gifted with work. We work hard. Some of them, like me, talk too much. You know, I talk, and that is why I use my talking, my gift of talking. I can talk 100 words per minute. That is me. Ask God about it. Ask my Creator. If you see that it's bad, ask my Creator about it. It's not my problem, but I can do it, and that is why I've used my talking into entertaining you, because communication is the key, and communication branch needs people who talk like me. So it's a gift I have. I talk. Yes, I talk very fast. Anyway, so if there are people who are gifted with that, but there are people who are also gifted with being good wives and being handbags. There are professional handbags, just like these women who do escort jobs. Do you know that there are jobs called escort? Me, I don't blame anybody, because as long as you can feed yourself and your family, you can live yourself and pay your tax. I don't care. I don't care about anybody's hustle. Everybody has a hustle. But like I was saying, there you can be a professional handbag, a professional jewel, a professional. You just need to look beautiful, wear nice clothes, wear high heels, carry Gucci bag or Louis Vuitton, make your weave well, drink champagne, and you go with somebody somewhere. They hire you to go with them, to fly with them around the world. Because their wives, they have their wives and children, but their wives are not that kind of person who can be their handbags. Their wives are more hardworking and wants to also go to work, and they're tough. But they want also, because when they go out there for their jobs or for their meetings, the other people that they come with their wives or their girlfriends who are looking maridadi, who are looking all polished up. So they also need one. So there's also these agencies of professional girls who just love to look good and just to have fun. Yeah, and they're called escorts. So you can be hired, and then you just go and look good. You go and buy, you carry a very expensive phone, you carry the most expensive handbag, the most expensive sunglasses. I mean, you can do it. Why not? It's your life. It's your life. I can't blame you. So I don't care of how people earn their money. All I care about is that you take care of yourself and you do what? And you respect yourself, and you do business. You do business. So don't blame. That is why I'm encouraging the Kenyan girls like me, who are those days, who were lazy at working. Not lazy, but were not gifted at you business. You can be a Nigerian boyfriend. You send a container to my home too, or to also just take at a walk in the estate, in the areas where we live, and to collect those things that the Germans have thrown, to put in a container and to send home. As Kenyans, we find it so difficult, because we are like I call them Instagram girls, slay queens, melanin reloaded. We are not the kind who would just, even this phone of mine, maybe some Germans would give me maybe 1 million phones that are spoiled, and they know that because they're experienced, they know that Africans want them to send them home. But because I'm not the kind who carries spoiled phones, I'm just like, no, me, I just want a new phone, not an old phone. But Nigerians, they will collect them. So I don't know where you get, even if you're getting me, but I'm just trying to say, let us be people who, what you're doing, do it well. Yeah? If you can collect the phones, collect them and send them. If you're not the right one who can collect them, then if somebody is ready to buy for you, let them buy for you a good value, that when you go to home, you can sell it and get some money out of it. I mean, everybody's gifted differently. That is the word. So just try not to be cheap, like the Nigerians used to say in Germany those days, that Kenyan girls are carry-go. Not now. Now things have changed. But those days, that is what was happening. These stories are my life stories. Life story cannot end, because I am still alive. That means they're still they're still coming. I have 1 million stories. They're large in size. I don't know where to end them. I don't know where to begin them. So even this one I'm telling you is still going on, but I don't know where to end it. But anyway, I'll still have to end my Nigerian boyfriend story. So anyhow, I continued being their family member and being their friend, like that, until the day when I moved to East Germany. Yes, when I moved to East Germany, to that port, to that guy. You remember that guy who gave me a job at the port, who I left his place going to America. Yes, that is when I stopped being a part of this Nigerian family. Yeah, but they will never forget about me, and I've never forgot about them. And I'm even thinking one of these days I'll go visit them again. I've not talked to them for around 5 years. 4 years, 5 years, we have not talked, we've not had contact. People grew, we became mature, we became independent. I also got to know how to make my own money. So I didn't need any money anymore. But when you stay in your au pair family over the weekend and it's time to be free, they will love you, they will do everything with you. But the problem is you will be working because they will call you for breakfast in the morning, and they will invite you for breakfast because Germans don't like eating without, like, eating differently. They like eating as a family. When it's time for breakfast, everybody sits on the table. When it's time for supper, everybody sits on the table, whether you are who or who, you know. So if I'm in the house, even when I'm free, even when I lock my door and tell them today I don't want to be disturbed, I am in the house, I just don't have a place to go, let me sleep in my room and watch TV, they'll still knock at my door. Terry line, it's time for breakfast. So you know what? When you go for that breakfast, you will not finish breakfast and stand and leave and go to your room because you are part of the breakfast. You'll have to remove the things on the table and put the utensils in the machine and wash the, you start working again. And before you finish clearing the breakfast, your host mother already says, Terry Line, I'm making this for lunch today. Something very delicious that you love. So would you mind eating with us? And then of course you can't say no. And when you eat with them, then you'll help her to cut the carrots and onions. And after eating, you'll be the one who is clearing the table. And then comes ice cream because they love dessert after that. Then you'll just be in the house working. By the time you end your working, it's dinner time. So I didn't just like being in the house, even though sometimes I felt like I just need to be in the house. So, and because I didn't also want to just go and hang around in the city, shopping, and you have nothing to do, I had a family, so I'd go to Sony's house. So I'd go to Sony's house, and with Sony, I always had something to do because we had there's a lot of Nigerian parties. So in the evening, he would be invited to this Nigerian party. I don't know, wedding, graduation, baptism, marriage. I don't know, Miss Nigerian Germany, Miss Black Germany, Miss I don't know what. All these things, they're business people. They have these unions. They have these circles. Nigerians have brought their community to Europe, like the way they live in Europe, that in Nigeria, in Edo State, or in Kenya, or in Lagos and Abuja. That is how they live in Germany also. Yeah. So I would go with him everywhere, and you're always busy. And at the end of the day, the next day when you're going back to work, he gives you pocket money. So I only cut contact with them. Hey, there's a story about cutting contact with them. Hey, I just remembered because I was wondering, by the way, how would I have cut contact with them just like that? That was impossible. That could have been impossible, you people. Me, to cut contact with those people the way they loved me. Hi. I will tell you how I cut contact with these people. Hey. Hey. Kenyans again. Kenyans. I hope they come and watch here and listen. I can't tell you now because the video will be too long, and there are people who just don't like long videos. They will be on my neck. Mwah! You guys, chapati yangu imekuwa baridi, imekuwa ngumu. Now I have to go and put it in the oven and warm it again, and look for some soup and warm my tea. I love you guys so much.
Proud chocolates.
Finished business.